From small-town roots and a guaranteed place in heaven to a deal with the devil, the Deadbeats grew to be one of the most critically acclaimed bands both here and in the afterlife. Through bad contracts, sex, drugs, violence, death, reanimation, rotting corpses, and Lawrence Welk, they stuck together. This is their story. The Deadbeats. Next on Behind the Undead Music on JTTV. From humble beginnings and an unparalleled love of rock and roll, money, and chicks, Recalcitrant Jones knew at an early age that he could never get and hold a real job. JTTV had affected me at an early age. I woke up one night in a cold sweat. It was like an epiphany. I had discovered the meaning of life. Money for nothing and chicks for free. I knew instantly that I needed to form a band. Recalcitrant Jones was registered at Wagner High School, although he rarely attended. Most of his time was spent doing vocational work for his chosen profession as a rock star.
Hey man, this is some good stuff, man.
We should start a band, man.
What for?
We could make a lot of money.
What for?
Well, then we could do nothing and just hang all day.
What do you call what we're doing right now?
Oh yeah. Cool. And so a band never formed. Yet Recalcitrant Jones, an oxymoronic ambitious stoner, managed to get hired for a gig. I fired the janitors and kitchen help. The hell with them. My goal was only hire bands that could cook and clean. This kid came in and he agreed to clean up the rat shit in the cellar. So I gave him the gig. In an incredible twist of fate, Jones had gotten a gig and an advance payment. Yet still, Jones had no band.
I know a good deal when I see one. Backstreet, NSYNC, New Kids. It's a simple trade, standard contract. They get to have their 15 minutes of fame, and I get their eternal soul.
Seemed like a win-win scenario at the time. So Satan resurrected some of history's greatest musicians, and the Deadbeats were born. In an undead kind of way. The band included Elvis Presley.
I'm the king. I'm a solo act. Putting the king on stage with a kitten stepping on the royal blue suede shoes. Recalcitrant Jones ain't nothing but a hound dog. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guitarist Jimi Hendrix.
The kid sure gets some fine weed.
Janis Joplin.
This was somewhat unusual.
The only thing unusual is the quality of this weed.
And of course, Lawrence Welk.
And the one, and the two, and if anyone has a connection, we're in the market for a good bubble machine.
But before things could even get off the ground, Jones found he had a problem. They started to rot. It really started to smell up the basement. And Hendrix, he smokes too much weed.
I don't even smoke anymore. I don't smoke any less either.
The group quickly bonded and began the search for their sound, girls, grain alcohol, and a bubble machine. The Deadbeats lived in the basement of Jones' grandmother's house and used sugar and fish smoking techniques to slow the rotting process.
I thought that was the heroin. You mean I really am falling apart?
The Deadbeats became known throughout heaven and hell for their hard-rocking, lead-heavy anthems, misogynistic rants, and the putrid smell of sugar and rotting flesh. And although it's hard to keep a band together when your musicians are falling apart, rock's most notorious undead band members embraced life with excess and pushed the boundaries to the breaking point. Lead singer Elvis Presley became known for his peanut butter and banana sandwiches and extremely large penis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
While guitarist Jimi Hendrix was even more widely known for his alcoholism, heroin abuse, cocaine abuse, and even larger penis. On top of the music and drugs was a never-ending orgy of sex with fans, anonymous groupies, and of course,
Are you
Pamela
sure
Anderson.
you're a rock star?
I'm the king, baby.
That is, of course, except for Janis Joplin, who was so ugly, not even Madonna would touch her.
Hey!
Struggling to stay as one, the Deadbeats made it to Saturday and the big show. They held themselves together, mostly, and thanks to Don King's King Vision, the concert was broadcast via pay-per-view into both heaven and hell. Only in America. And now the astral plane. Today the Deadbeats are the biggest band on Earth and both sides of the afterlife, including heaven and hell, except for the ninth plane of hell, where they like Christian rock groups like Creed and Faith Plus One. Featured monthly in Students of the Unusual, do not miss a moment of the hysterical antics of Terry Cronin's Recalcitrant Jones and the Deadbeats.